Good morning and welcome to another Notary Q&A session. This is for members of Notaries for Alabama Hangout on Facebook and also members of Notaries for Alabama Academy. It is a new community that I set up on the Skool platform, Skool. I'll be sure to provide you with the URL and link so that you can join this free community. I am excited about today. We will be playing a game in addition to setting aside some time for notaries' questions about being a successful notary in their community. I'm going to wait a few more minutes to see if anyone else joins us this morning, and then we'll get started. Let's go ahead and kick off the game. So I love games, card games, board games. I love the competition. Um, if you put me on a soccer field, a football field, I suck. Put me at a racetrack to run. I'm good for a short sprint. So physically, I am not a great player. But when it comes to, again, board games, card games, trivia, that sort of thing, I'm right at the top. So I signed up for a Kahoot, Kahoot, account, which incorporates games with learning. And I thought it would be really great to use to help with the classes, the teaching, the mentoring that I do for notaries. So let's go ahead and kick it off and let me know how you do and what your thoughts are about it. Give me just a moment. All right. We have two players this morning with us. I've muted everyone. I don't know if you can hear, but Kahoot, once I um, play, once I press go, it's going to start playing music. And so everyone, let's stay muted until we get to the end, if you don't mind. A question will show up on the screen, and the first one everyone should answer. As you can see, it is counting down for the first question. The signer hands you a copy of their birth certificate and social security card. Can you notarize their signature? Yes or no? What do you think? Birth certificate and social security card. All right. Out of the two of you playing this morning, only, well, did you both get it right? The answer is false. And both of you got it wrong. One of you didn't vote. There you go. So one of you was too slow. Keep in mind, you only have a limited amount of time to vote. The birth certificate and social security card, those are really important identity documents, but not for notarizations. Why? Neither one of those cards has a photograph of the signer. That's a really key piece. Um, yes, Social Security card was issued by the government, federal government. A birth certificate, yes, I think you could argue that a birth certificate was approved. We'll go ahead and say issued by a state government office, but neither one has a photograph. And in the Alabama statutes, the ID that we accept must include a photograph of the signer. So that's why this answer is false. All right, now for the next question. And keep in mind now that we've had, we'll call it a practice, you have a limited amount of time for you to answer the question, okay? Next question. Yep, it's 0 to 0, but let's see how that changes for the next one. And I'm just doing the questions right now. All right. Question number 2, when a document requires a venue to be added, what two things should the notary write? Let's see if I could turn down that music. Again, you've got 2 seconds, 1 second. All right. So it's possible that this is your first time playing. I totally understand. And I didn't explain the rules, did I? Or how to answer the questions. So let's look at the question first. Again, when a document requires a venue to be added, what two things should the notary write? And down below, you have 4 options. You should choose the best answer for this question. In red, the option is the notary's commission start and end date. In yellow, the city and state where the signer resides. In blue, the county and state where the notarization was completed. And in green, the city and state where the document was prepared. Those are your options. You're to choose on your device the answer that is correct. And for this one, we'll get the answer on the next slide. We know the correct answer is the county and state where the notarization was completed. So you should have selected blue diamond, the blue color and the shape of the diamond, okay? Let's see if we can do better on question number 3. True or false? The signer must always wait until they meet with the notary in person before signing their name on the document. Is that true or is that false? Think about it and then press the answer that you think. All right, false is the correct answer. Can anyone unmute and tell me why that is not true? Anyone? All right, it is not true because if the notarial act is an acknowledgement, the signer can sign the form before meeting with the notary. But when that happens, it is the notary's responsibility to ask the signer, is this your signature? And if the signer says yes, then the notary must go a step further and ask, did you read the document? Does the document, do you understand what this is? What this document is about. Did you sign the form voluntarily or did someone force you to sign your name? So you ask several questions to the signer to make sure it is their signature. They know the purpose of the document. They signed it voluntarily. All right, good job, everyone. All right. Now, you might be wondering why Mobile has 929 and Cookie only has 721. In earning your scores, Kahoot factors in how quickly you answer the question correctly. So you both got the right answer, but Mobile answered it faster than Cookie did. All right, continuing on to the next question. True and false, or false. Notaries should administer oaths to Christians and affirmations to atheists. True or false? Should notaries administer oaths to Christians and affirmations to atheists? Lock in. And the answer is false, the correct answer. Why is this? It does not, a notary should not even care or ask what a person's religious belief is. Notaries should treat all signers the same. Uh, Oftentimes, the document itself, the notarial certificate, will instruct the notary on whether to perform an affirmation or an oath. But the real difference is, um, well, I think that is another question, so I don't want to go too far. So the answer is false. The notary should not choose how to administer an oath based on someone's religious belief or non-religious belief. Treat all signers the same way. All right. We had one of you. It's not showing me right now. I guess I could click here. Let's see. Yeah, that's not it. Next. Let's see what that did. Okay, Mobile got it right. Cookie got it wrong. That's okay. We're here to learn. All right, next question. A form has two spaces for signatures. One space is labeled affiant. Who is the affiant? Is it the notary, the signer, the witness, or the signer's attorney in fact? Who is the affiant? All right, you both got in your votes in time, which is good. Only one of you got it right. Which one got it right? It looks as if Cookie, I believe, answered correctly. But before I leave the question, the word affiant, Affiant, when you see that title or description on a form, it is describing the person who is signing their name and the person that you should be verifying their identity. If a oath is required, that's the person you're putting under oath. Often referred to as the signer in the room whose signature needs to be notarized. All right, let's see what that did to the scores. It's not a tie yet, but Mobile Cookie is catching up with you. So, next question. An Alabama notary's official seal must contain these three things according to Alabama statutes. What three things? The notary's name, jurisdiction, and commission expiration date, the notary's last name and county name, the notary's title and county of residence, the notary's name or jurisdiction. Aha! In this case, the answer is this question, the notary's name, title, and jurisdiction. It's okay, Cookie. It looks like you may have needed more time to read that, and that's good for me to know. I think the next time we play, I'll set it up so that we get a little more than 20 seconds to answer the question. So again, when you order your official notary seal, Alabama statutes clearly states that what should be on our stamp, whether it's the embosser or an ink stamp, is our name. And when they mean name, they're talking about the name that appears, the full name that appears on our commission that we receive from the probate office. The seal should also or must also include our title, notary public. I know you may consider yourself a mobile notary or notary signing agent, but that's not an official title. Your official title is notary public. And then the last thing is our jurisdiction. And in the state of Alabama, our jurisdiction is Alabama state at large. That's the most common wording. You can put state of Alabama as well. So either state of Alabama or Alabama state at large. That is because anywhere in the state of Alabama, we are able to perform notarial acts or notarizations. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next question. Forgot. All right, Mobile, you put some distance between you and Cookie. That's great. All right, but don't feel bad, Cookie. You've got plenty of time to catch up. The most you can legally charge is the Alabama notary fee for a couple signing the Alabama marriage certificate. What is it? Is it 10, 40, 20, or $50? Enter your answers. It looks like everyone got it in before the time was up, but one of you got it correct. The correct answer is $40. Why is it $40? Especially since the Alabama notary fee is only $10. All right. And that one of you did select 20, and I can understand you saying 20. You're thinking 10 times 2. But with the Alabama marriage certificate, you are performing 2 notarial acts per person. And when it's 2 acts times $10, 10 times 2 is 20 for spouse number 1 and 20 for spouse number 2, which is how you get to 40. Let's see who entered the correct answer. Look at there, Cookie. You have taken the lead from Mobile. Nice work, everyone. So this is why it's important before charging our notary fees, we need to make sure that we are calculating that fee correctly. And the way to start with that is to review the notarial certificate and count up the number of notarial acts that the document in front of you requires. Otherwise, you might charge too little or charge too much. And there's no issue with charging too little because, to be honest, we notaries don't have to charge anything at all. But we have to be very careful, extremely mindful of not overcharging signers. All right, let's move on. A form has two spaces for signatures, principal and officer. Who should sign as the officer? Who shall sign as the officer? Great. Both of you got your answers in before the time ran out. Yep. But only one of you got it correctly. All right. One of you answered correctly. In this situation where there are two spaces on the form for people to sign, one space says principal, the other space says officer. Who is the officer in this situation? It is the notary. All right. And I know it might seem a little confusing or awkward referring to yourself as an officer, but for this form, that is what we would be. The other thing to keep in mind is usually or frequently the principal is considered the signer. Not always, but usually. Okay? All right, let's see what that did with the scoring. Wow, Mobile did not like being in second place and is back on top. Cookie, do not get discouraged at all. True or false? Notaries are required to record the $10 fee they charge signers in their journals. Is that true or false? We're required to record it in the journal. Awesome. Both of you got it right this time. That doesn't happen very often. The answer is false. Why is it false? Well, for one thing, in Alabama, we are not required to keep a journal. I wish we were, but it is not a requirement. But it is a best practice. And I want to encourage you, if you haven't been keeping a journal so far, I'd like for you to start today. And if you can't start today, make it a point to start on January 1, 2026. It is also a notary best practice to include the Alabama approved notary fee in your journal entry. Why? Well, especially if you're also tacking on a travel fee. You wouldn't want a signer who doesn't understand how notaries can calculate fees to complain to to the authorities. Hey, this notary named Cookie charged me $50 to notarize one form. That does sound excessive when the signer knows $10 is the approved notary fee. But if you record in the journal that you charged $50, but $10 was the notary fee, $40 was your travel fee to for you to drive the distance you drove to meet with the signer at a hospital or a nursing home. So again, that journal can help, and it's possible even you may have performed a jurat notarization, and your notary fee could have been as much as $20 for one person, and then $30 for travel. So, however, the breakdown is, including the Alabama approved notary fee in the journal, will help you down the road if someone challenges how you are calculating your fees. It's also a recommended practice for you to issue an itemized receipt to the signer to help them understand how you arrived at the amount you charge them. All right. Two of you got it right. What did that do to the scoreboard? Ah, you're not tied up yet, but Cookie, you are breathing down Mobile's neck. So keep up the good work, both of you. Next question, true or false? A form asks you to attach a loose notary certificate. You should staple a copy of your notary commission form as well. Is that true or false? Should you attach a copy of your commission? The correct answer is false. Your commission has nothing to do with, well, let me say this. Don't confuse your notary commission with a notary certificate. Two very different forms and documents. So you should not do that. I did a tutorial video earlier this week about attaching loose notary certificates. So there is one video on my YouTube channel, Notaries for Alabama. And then there is another tutorial, more up-to-date tutorial on in the Skool community, Notaries for Alabama Academy. Make sure you check out both of those. And I may have posted it in the Hangout too. I don't remember. All right. Good for you, both of you, for getting it right. Who got it correct the fastest? Whoa, Mobile did. Mobile has got a flame next to his name because Mobile is on fire. All right, moving on. I think we're more than halfway done. The title of a document that you've been asked to notarize includes the word affidavit. What should you be prepared to do for an affidavit? Questions? Did both of you get your votes in? We did get 2 votes in. Were they both correct? Unfortunately, no. If a form has the word affidavit as the title or heading, that's telling you there is a 99.9% possibility that the type of notarization is a jurat notarization, and jurats require that the notary administer an oath to the signer. And so the correct answer is administer an oath or an affirmation to the signer. All right. Who got that correct? I think Cookie did. All right, let's see. Yes. How quickly things can change. Good job, Cookie. You've got the flame behind your name as well. All right. With that question, we have taken 11 of the 15 questions. I mention it because we're down to the last four. Every question counts. Remember, you want to get it right and you want to answer as quickly as possible. Are you ready, Cookie? Cookie's nodding her head. Are you ready, Mobile? Mobile looks like he was born ready. I'm assuming you're a female, a male based on the character, but I could be wrong. All right. Question number 12, I believe. A college student just got hired and his employer requires his driver's license to be notarized. What should you do? What should you do? What type of notarial act? Wow, that was fast. Both of you got it correct. You should perform a copy certification. We'll take a quick look at the other options. Should you direct the student to the nearest DMV office? Absolutely not. Well, let's go back to the question. College student got hired. Employer requires his license to be notarized. What should you do? The first thing you should do is really listen to and process the request. And it's a college student. This is probably someone who has never had their signature notarized before, doesn't understand what that even means. And so, even though he said, my employer says I need my license to be notarized, we as notaries should know that doesn't make any sense. And chances are his employer wants a photocopy of his license notarized. So definitely when you get unusual requests or requests that sound off, ask some additional probing questions. Um, because there is no way we should do what's in the yellow option, which is to tell the student to sign the back of his license and then you stamp it. Just don't do that ever. The other option was explain Alabama doesn't allow notaries to notarize a driver's license. Well, that is true, but it really isn't all you should do. Okay? Because we can notarize a copy of the license, and that process is called performing a copy certification. All right. How did you do? Who answered first? Wow, Cookie edged you out by a very small amount, Mobile. So let's see what happens on the next one. The signer tells you that he must scan or fax the notarized form to his bank. What should you do? What should you do? Mm. Yeah, those are long answers. Wow. I think this is the first time no one knew the answer. All right. The signer tells you he must scan or fax the notarized form to his bank. You should, the correct answer was use an inker with your embosser or use an ink stamp for that should read your official seal. And that is so that whoever receives the fax or scan will be able to see your official seal. Sometimes just using an embosser with the raised seal, that may not show up. So this is encouraging you to purchase something called an inker. So after you crimp the document, when notarizing it, and you have the raised seal on the paper, you can dab the raised seal with an inker and it'll have black ink on it. And now you can read, not only feel the raised seal, but you can read the notary's name, title, and jurisdiction. All right. Um, so telling the signer that that has nothing to do with you as a notary really isn't the best answer. Are you required to help the signer scan or fax the form after it's notarized? No, you're not. But it would be nice for you to let the signer know how you can help him or her accomplish that. Telling the signer he needs a notary signing agent for this and charge an extra $25 to handle it. Again, I think you've missed the point, especially if you haven't inked the race seal or used an ink stamp. And I think charging someone $25 to scan or fax the notarized form for someone, to me, that's a little excessive. That's me. And then the final option you had was this is something only a remote online notary can do, and it's not allowed in Alabama. Yeah, not the right answer. All right, don't feel bad. That one was kind of tough. And again, this first round is teaching me that I probably need to shorten the question or the answer. All right, so don't feel bad. Let's see, did they deduct any points? No, that's a good thing. Cookie, Mobile, there are only two answers left. So good luck, both of you. Alabama notaries are allowed to perform the following types of notarizations. What are they? I'm going to let you read. All right, your answers are locked in. What types of notarizations can we perform as Alabama notaries? Traditional in-person and remote online notarizations? We know that's wrong because RON, or remote online notarization, is not approved, not as of today's date, which is November 23, 2025. The next option in yellow or amber, AI generated and cyber induced notarizations. Woo, that sounds scary. Maybe in the future, but definitely not today. In the blue, traditional in-person and remote ink notarizations. That is the correct answer. And so face-to-face is the same thing as in person. That could have been the right answer, but Alabama's been allowing us to perform RINK, remote ink notarization, since, shucks, it just escaped me. I think 2021. I have to look that up to be sure, that date. Don't hold me to that. All right. This is the last question coming up. I'll read it quickly. And nope, you know what? Maybe my reading is confusing you. So I'm going to keep quiet, let you read it, and I wish you both all the best. Oh, you did get that right, Cookie. I am so sorry that I didn't give you your props. So I spoke too soon. Awesome, awesome. Mobile, You've got a ways to go, but it's doable. All right, I'm going to let you read and answer. Good luck to you both. Wow. Everyone reports to someone who is considered the boss of Alabama Notaries. All right, Mobile, what happened? Okay, Mobile is letting me know his finger slipped, and that would make sense. But anyway, what were the options? Alabama's Secretary of State, Wes Allen. Now, Wes Allen is the current Secretary of State. And in many other U.S. states, the notaries report into the Secretary of State. But that's not true for Alabama. In Alabama, the probate judge for the county where the notary resides, our boss, our notary boss, is our probate judge in our county. It is not Kay Ivey. And while I guess one could argue that Alabama notaries answer to God and no one else, it sounds real good, but we've got to factor in our earthly boss as well, who is the probate judge for the county. All right, who got that right? Cookie. All right, Cookie, if you got that right, I believe that means in first place, Cookie wins with 7,384 points, followed by Mobile. Mobile, that is not bad. You're also on the podium with 5,562 points. If we had another player, they would have made the podium as well. I want to thank both of you for showing up this morning and playing our first Kahoot game. I hope these questions helped you to gain a better understanding of our notary laws. If you have any questions about the questions, really, if you need more explanation about any of the topics that were covered in today's Kahoot, on a real serious note, let me know that. I can direct you to the statute or the training to get more information about that. Again, thank you for showing up, and I look forward to networking with you some more on the Skool platform and also in the Hangout. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you hopefully at the next Notary Q&A.